if they weren't the New York Knicks, but the New Orleans, the Pelicans, we wouldn't think of the Knicks. We only think of the Knicks because they play in New York. That's it. So It is what it is to me.
Yeah, pretty much. I just hope that all this just mellows out. They can just get over it, go behind closed doors, be whatever it is, get your things situated. Don't, like everybody today, they'll put everything on Twitter. It all goes there, and then that's where it all goes down. Yep. So just be civilized people. Go, converse, have a conversation, communication, talk, and just let it end. That's all I have to say about that.
Exactly.
So things coming into an end and things coming to a beginning, and sports continues, and this is spring coming up. Baseball is upon us. So, which is my favorite thing of the year. And spring training players start reporting next week. They start with their training, and we have the World Baseball Classic also coming upon us. So with all that baseball going on, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. So just like with March Madness and baseball, I'm going to have to call myself and divvy one up for basketball, one for baseball. So if you see a twin around or two of me, don't freak out. It's all good.
There it is.
So I'm excited for spring training. I'm excited for baseball. There's been some changes. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully some teams will have a better season. I won't say any names of who that is or who they are. So I hope, the Cubs can come back and have a stellar season, and they can show from their World Series, going into 2017. So I'm looking forward to it. World Baseball Classic, we have the rosters that just came out of who is going to be part of the teams, who they will be playing for. A lot of the professional baseball players take part in this. So I think that's a good thing that they decide to represent their countries, play for for all these teams. And what is the importance of the professional players playing in the World Baseball Classic? What advantages are there? What disadvantages are there, if any?
I guess they can it's more meaningful games to help get ready for the season. I guess that's the biggest thing I would say, would maybe get your mindset more into games that count. Since you're playing for national pride, I think that's really the biggest thing.
Do you think that there's a disadvantage, with the professional players participating in the country? There's also non-professional players. There are other players that play for their country. They're not in, the major leagues. Is that a disadvantage to them, or is there more of an advantage for those players because they have these professional athletes? They can be maybe a mentor, can help them advance in their baseball career. What do you think about that?
I mean, it could be a good come up for someone that, that people don't know. But to be honest with you, I think other countries take this more seriously than the U.S., and that's probably why it's fun to watch. But I mean, here in the U.S., let's be honest, we call everything we do the best. So the World Series is the World Series, but it's played here. The Super Bowl is big, but football's played here. I mean, in sports that we don't care about, we just kind of dismiss. So, we care about the World Cup, but it doesn't really, it doesn't draw as much attention as it would in other countries. So I like to see players that, maybe on the come up from other countries, but I don't know. I don't think we put the same amount of and I don't mean the players, I mean the fans. I don't think we have that same fever for it like other countries do.
Yeah, that thing. Well, the world, that's good. I'm glad that you mentioned the World Cup, because there's the World Cup. There's that World Cup fever when soccer comes about, and I feel that baseball that's the World Cup for baseball, the World Baseball Classic, and I feel that it's a little bit on the World Baseball Classic is a little bit underrepresented at sometimes, because I think that it would be just as about excited as soccer, just as baseball, just as soccer is played in very many countries. So is there maybe a little bit underrepresentation there?
No, I just don't think it's as popular as it used to be for the younger and for the masses. I mean, next week I'm sure we'll talk about baseball and some of the rule changes, but that they're attempting to make. But it's just kids nowadays, they like things in a microwave. That's why I think they like football, basketball. That's why they like the UFC. They just like things in the microwave, where everyone else likes. They still appreciate the game, the sanctity of the game. And like I said, I'm sure next week we'll talk about some of those baseball changes, but this is more of a just kind of where we are right now. And the World Baseball Classic, I think it's great for the cities that it's in, but I just don't think around the country, if it's not impacting that city right then, it doesn't really move the needle as much. And the same with soccer. I mean, let's be honest, soccer's great when they have certain things going on, but if it's not in your city, no one really seems to care. And maybe that'll change with the next generation, but as of now, I think that's kind of where it is. It's a true baseball lovers love the classic. I like watching it. I love watching. I mean, it's fun rooting for guys that playing for their natural countries, but it just I promise you, people in Colorado with the Rockies aren't all lined up around the table, and I think that's kind of sad, because in the Dominican and Puerto Rico, they're lined up, they're ready to watch.
Oh yeah, Latin countries, it's like soccer pretty much. You're right there supporting, and you'll see them just screaming top of their lungs, rooting for their team or rooting for their favorite player. And so, and then, same thing as pretty in Europe as well, you would see that. So, not counting the U.S. or anything like that. So I enjoy it, no secret. Baseball is my favorite thing to go to, and my main focus when anything sports is on. Baseball is there, and I enjoy watching the World Baseball Classic. Right now the Caribbean Series as well. That's another good excitement there. So I'm excited to see the players, and I think it's good that they decide to participate for their country. So, and they get still in that routine. They don't get out of the routine. They go and train with the teams, with the players, and they're ready. Once that's over, they go into the spring training and go into the season. So it keeps them a little bit more active, and I'm just excited to see baseball. So
we both.
So that's all I have to say about that.
I'm with you. I would definitely be watching, and I can't wait for spring training to see the White Sox start their March Tour Championship.
Who was that? I'm sorry, I don't think I know who they are.
Oh yeah, they're the best team in the American League. Easy to spot.
You might have to introduce me one day.
I will.
Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight. That is all for today's show. You can follow More Than Simply Sports on Twitter and on Facebook, and you can follow me at Twitter and Instagram at JROSALYE and PLR.
You can always
find
get
you?
PLR on Sports. You never know what you'll get, so be prepared.
So is that a warning?
That's a promise.
That's a promise. Okay. Yeah. Well, hope you keep your promise.
Always.
Well, thank you for joining me, and I will see you on our next show, or speak to you more on our next show. So, everybody, have a good night, and until next time.